Hello, hello. Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, happy happy water signs day, happy Scorpio season, happy nodal access between Taurus and Scorpio is officially over. Happy we're probably, if unless it hit your chart super direct, we're probably, coming out of the full moon, if that was the full moon eclipse, if that was at all like crunchy for you. So I'm gonna start the water signs in just a moment. But one of the reasons I was tardy is I was doing something really excited. The other reason is because Nikki knocked all my lights down. But let me say this. It's very exciting. So now there is membership. And when I tell you this, I became consumed with how can I make sure that if I do this, I'm doing something really fun, really exciting. I can't believe there's already 2. Literally just clicked over that button. But I also, the Virgo rising in me, I had to. So tons of time was spent on a Google form. I don't want to chase you. You don't want to be chased to get your perks, right? So like there's a totally, wow, guys, I might cry. So there's a fun Google form. It's really short. It's super easy. This way we're collecting all of your information. But let me tell you about some of the perks. So obviously you're going to get like everybody you can see. You have a feeling brand new sticker with a sunrise because you're all starting with me. But there'll be other badges. And there will be, there's fun emojis. There's a brown chicken, brown cow. Everything is, I didn't use anything stock because I have issues. So you guys will all have custom badges, custom emojis. Like I said, there's a brown chicken, brown cow. There's a universe be like, and all the universe, like they have googly eyes, a clown face that looks angry. So like while we're chatting, and if I say something and you're like, oh my God, everything's crazy. And there's another emoji, but I was up very late last night doing it and I can't remember what it was. But besides fun emojis, and cause that's not really that's just fun, right? That's not worth paying anything for. The thing I might be most excited about is, if you hop off of, there should be a join button now on the main channel page. I haven't double checked it because I hopped right into this chat. But the one thing I might be super excited about, I'm super excited about the private Zooms, and we'll get to that. But I have created, since you all don't just like, we're all having a love affair. I'm having a love affair with all of you. God, I feel it from you guys. I love the discussions, and I'm always so humbled by the trust that you all have in me. However, you all love each other too, which is amazing. And so there is a 24/7 Discord chat room just for members of the club. So that means if you're having a bad day, right? I mean, we don't want to get too personal. I'll put some rules up. Obviously, we're all going to be kind and everything has to be safe. But we're going to have discussion boards. We can play games in there. You could like, somebody's like, oh, hey, we're on Weekend Tarot and they have a job interview. If you wanted to check in on them and be like, hey, so-and-so, how's the job interview? I'm so excited for that. I'm old, so I was a kid in the 70s, and like we used to have rec rooms. I don't know if anybody else had rec rooms, but it's a 24/7 rec room, which is really also really convenient for people when we're all on different time zones. So on your Google form, you'll get the invite to that. Where you're obviously gonna have members only videos. So like when I'm done with water signs, because I don't know what's gonna come up until my guides tell me and the cards tell me. So after each Wednesday, we're gonna like, you know how I'm always like, oh, I wish I could do more on this one thing, or I want to look into this card. I will put up different subjects per each sign, and you guys will say, I want to look into the Knight of Swords that was in the Cancer reading, and I also am really interested in that like Hangman that was in the Scorpio, whatever it may be. And then within 24 hours of the video is actually up. There's a members only video. So as soon as you join, you can watch the members only video, and the link is also in there. Thank you, Lee. Lee helped a lot. And then my OCD took over. I'm like, let's change this word to be like that. So then I ended up finishing it, but I couldn't have started it without her. She's very patient with me. So I'm so grateful. Thank you, Renata. So there'll be 4 videos a month. There's going to be member polls. I'm going to use them a lot. If you are a member on my channel, I want you guys to drive the content. Here's a little secret. The member content doesn't affect analytics or anything. They're all kind of private videos, so we can do whatever we want inside the club. So you guys will be able to drive video ideas when you are on the 2nd and 3rd levels. I mean, you can have an opinion, but when you're on the 2nd and 3rd levels, you'll get a month ahead. You'll get a poll in an email, and it'll just ask you which transit, whether it's a full moon or a new moon, like what are you most interested in. You guys will drive the private Zoom that we do, and for the 3rd level, the nerd, it's 2 of them a month. So essentially that's like getting, I'm assuming what's going to be a very small intimate by the time we get to that 3rd level. It'll probably just be at tops 10, maybe 15 people in my wildest dreams. In a private Zoom, we can look at charts, we can do private. So it's almost like having a private or a personal reading with me. It's not like, it is like having a personal reading with me twice a month. Once will be metaphysical, once will be astrological. But in a group, we can see each other. You guys can keep cameras off. Again, members only polls. Every level will help drive the content for the extended videos. When you're at the 3rd level, you get to have, I'll just take this all out of the Cancer water sign video. At the 3rd level, you'll get to have say in when we do the Zooms. Everybody will be able to pick a roundabout time. I'll give choices. Because if you're paying the $14.99 a month, you should be able to attend the things that make it that level. Let's see what else. So badges, emojis, that's whatever. The members only chat club, lots of member polls, so you guys help drive the content. Members only videos, 4 exclusive videos a month that you help pick. And when you are a evolutionary member, which is that 1st level, at your 6-month anniversary, and we have a way, you'll have an anniversary date on the Google form, and we'll have automation set up so you don't have to chase us. We'll know when it's your anniversary. You get to go and pick one of the Zoom invites that'll up and coming. So at the 6-month thank you for your loyalty, you'll be able to go to one of the private Zoom meetings, even if you're at a level 1, which I think is exciting. So you get to experience that. And then at a year, you'll get another one. So even at the $2.99 level, you'll get to go to 2 of the Zooms a year, which I wanted to make sure that I rewarded the loyalty. So that's of steady, 6 months steady. And of course, you'll get a natal chart, a composite chart, or a progress chart if you want. And all of that's in the Google form. You don't have to worry about getting your, you have to sign up for the Google form to get all of your perks, and all of that's covered in there. And then at the second level, you get to pick one of the 2 Zooms, and you get member shout outs. And at the third level, you don't have to pick one of the, you get to go to both of the Zooms. You will also get a report upon joining, and classes will probably be starting. I'd like to do one before Christmas, probably gonna happen after Christmas, but 10% off all classes. So you get, every level builds on each other. So everybody, if you're in any level, you get the member only chat room, you get the extra videos, you're doing the member polls, you're getting a natal chart or a composite chart. It's a lot. I put a lot in that first level. I want to make sure that anyone who doesn't join, nothing's changing on the channel. You won't lose anything. I had choices to make members a priority in the chat. But what I love about this community is everybody should feel seen, and everybody should feel heard and valued. So I didn't want to do anything that, there's plenty of perks that don't make non-members that are in our subscriber community feel like they're not as valued. That I would not be able to sleep at night. So nothing's going to change if you can't do membership right now, or you're just not interested, and that's okay too. Nothing's going to change. The channel will stay the same. So that's it. All right. We'll cut this part out later. Yeah, that's exciting. And you can all let me know what you think about the perks. You can suggest also, I would love your suggestions for more emojis for things. I thought it'd be funny to kind of keep it to things that we always say in the chat. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I'm going to make a whole video explaining the membership later today after I have a lot more coffee. All right. Welcome, water signs. Did y'all have a good Halloween? Did you have a wonderful Halloween? We had a very good Halloween in this house. One of the things I love about my neighborhood, that it's built into the natural landscape. So these kids had hills. An hour and 15 minutes. I was very impressed with what they covered on the map, but they came back. They could not. Stuff was falling out of their buckets. Somehow I ended up in a neighborhood where people give full-size candy. And so, Teresa, I'm trying to get this to, there we go. Can everyone see it? I have to get shelves behind me. But, and there's a little video up on Instagram. All right. So, of the kids. So I hope everybody else had a good Halloween. And Miss Sadie's starting to feel better, which makes my heart very happy. All right, it's a good week. Cancer, what do we have? This is for November, December, and then in the beginning of December, I'll do December, January, because I think it's more reasonable to say if I'm doing a big community that this energy could be really... Hi. Aw, thank you, Odette. That was so sweet. I feel like Cancer's very interesting. Like me as a Cancer, I had 2 things being trined from the sun. and sextiled from the moon in that eclipse. So if you have Cancer placements, if you're not being hit by Saturn or Neptune, both in Pisces, you could be getting hit in the later degrees by opposing the Pluto. And you could have just gotten a whole bunch of activity from everything when it was in Libra. And now you're getting a bunch of activity from everything in Scorpio, because we have squaring and trining. So I feel like even though it's not Cancer season, a lot of I feel like a lot of Cancers are probably having their placements gone over at this point. Because even the Mars and the Sun right now are trining the middle degrees of Cancer. And like I said, you have Saturn dealing with the beginning degrees, and then Pluto and Neptune are hitting those later degrees in Cancer. So you know, you could be going through a lot. It feels though like challenges, like stuff's going to start getting lighter because it's just another round of challenges that you're on the tail end of now. Let's see. I just want to pull in anything that I have before the cards start coming out, because I love when they confirm each other. Hey, Lee, maybe you could wander over to on your iPad and see if you could. I don't know that you can, but if you could try to find like the join button on there, or see if you can, like, if there's a link for that or something, or some way you could bring it over here. Just for Shauna, if she's having problems. No, I don't want to make everybody feel like I'm selling them membership. Okay. All right, Cancer, what do we have? Strength. I would feel like after feeling really run over, this feels like the strength part. And I got my Stranger Things deck out since it's the day after Halloween. By the way, I hope you're all blowing cinnamon and salt into your house and having a very strong intention of just flowing of money and abundance and happiness coming into your home. The first of the month is a really good day to do a little extra straightening up. Make sure there's no dirty shoes or anything by your front door. Stand out on the outside of your house and blow into the door the cinnamon and the salt. And just say, like, this house just knows streams of income coming even unexpectedly. That everyone that lives in this house has more than anything, more than they even need. Those kind of just statements, and really feel the vibration of what that feels like as you're saying it. One more card for Cancer. One more card for Cancer. Go in the toilet. You belong there. Aw. Somebody took their interesting pills today. I don't know how you mean that, be vegan, but I am very sure you're going to let us know. I'm very sure you're going to elaborate. Be vegan or vegetarian at least. Are you angry at people who are not? Are you angry at people who are not vegetarian? Trying to understand. And hi. Okay. So we have the Strength card. We have the Five of Spokes, otherwise known as Five of Cups. And then we have the 10 of the Cancer, you haven't had a choice many times in your life, but this is really, really beautiful card because we have Max here. And if you don't know, I'm just going to tell you, Max has been through it. She's lost people close to her. She's seen stuff she shouldn't have seen. She has a bit of trauma. But she's the first to say, I can take it. I already have the strength. I'll do the hard stuff. I'll sacrifice so that everybody else can have a win. And if I take a loss, I take a loss. You know, I find people who have been through the worst stuff, even if they're judged by society for however life left them after the stuff that they've been through, they are usually the strongest. They are the first one to lend out a hand. They're the ones to give you $1 when they only have $1.50. That's all very Cancerian. So the Five of Spokes is like the Five of Cups. There's grieving for something. And you have to be strong because some things we can't save. God, does Cancer want to? And also this applies to your 4th house. But, you know, sometimes Cancer has to let go. Sometimes Cancer has to feel the sadness and grieve for something. This is going to end a very, a decently long cycle of pain. And something you were carrying. Man, if you have Cancer placements, if you have 4th house placements, I would be shocked if you haven't been in a situation yet where if Snickers are vegan, then I maybe have a Snickers. It kind of feels like you need one. Oh no, Teresa, I'm so sorry. If you need to reach out and email me, of course you can. I'm so sorry, Teresa. Sending you big hugs. There is fucking Cancer, man. I'm sorry. There is something here that you've been carrying for a while, and what I was saying is that if you are a Cancer, if you have 4th house placements, I would be surprised if at some point you had a relationship that you had the epiphany, the hard epiphany, that if you pull back, if you stop feeding and nurturing the relationship, that the relationship goes away. If you've had that experience, it's devastating because it could be a relationship we really care about, and we realize when we stop feeding it, we stop giving it oxygen, we stop doing, not that they weren't doing anything, right? Because we've learned along the way that we could just, if we're holding space for a community member that just lost somebody close to them, and we have somebody like, we can just block them. It's not the time for somebody. Normally I don't care about trolls. It's funny to me that somebody would put that much energy into it, but let's just block her. It's not appropriate right now, especially as we're holding space. There we go. Done. It can be really painful when a relationship falls away, or if you realize that like, oh, you know, we were okay because I could hold space. I can hold space for somebody who's not there yet. I can want to be a nurturing person as a Cancer, right? We want to hold space for others. It's the age-old question. And especially for water signs, what is the line between unconditional love and enabling? What is the line between giving somebody space and having that be and doing more of the work for now, because life isn't always 50-50, right? Relationships aren't always 50-50. Sometimes they're 20-80, but when they're 20-80 all the time and you loved this person or you cared about this person, and when it falls away, it hurts. At the same time, there's that part of you, it feels like being pulled in two different directions. I was caring more here than I possibly should have for my own mental, emotional health and wellness. And I have to grieve it. I have to let it go. I have to stop carrying it. But also, it hurts. Hi, TS. I hope you got your new email. Yeah. I mean, right? Because we know not to put up with bare minimum, but this is probably somebody who gave when they could, but still, maybe your motivation drove the communication. Maybe you making room when they were acting a certain way that other people will be like, you let them talk to you like that? And you say, well, you don't know what's going on with them. So this isn't, I'm not feeling off of this somebody who was just ghosting or giving you crumbs when you were giving them the whole bakery. I'm feeling somebody that this is over years. At some point, you have to have this epiphany of, this isn't what I think it is. This isn't a relationship. Hi, Nikki. I actually just started the Cancer reading a little while ago. I was going over membership in the beginning, and then we had a troll distraction. So I'm just starting with Cancer now. And we have Strength, the 10 of Wands, and the 5 of Cups. And 5 of Cups is definitely a card of grieving. You could be grieving somebody that passed and you can't fix it, you know. Is that too personal? I don't know. I like to share experiences. I was really, really lucky with my mom because her dementia, we still had moments each day where she knew who I was. And at some point, the dementia softened her. And because the caretaking was so intimate at the end, it softened us. Because my mom and I had stuff. We had stuff. I was far more progressive. My third one, I wasn't married. That was a big deal for her. It's a big deal for her. She had really loved the bejeebas out of my child. All of them. Still had a really hard time with it. Like, till 6 months before she passed. Maybe a year. And we got to heal that. But I want to say this could also be, and I don't feel this around Teresa, but this could also be somebody that either passed that you didn't get to have that conversation with, you didn't get to fix the stuff, or somebody that is having problems with their cognizance and you're not going to get to fix the stuff. You're not going to get the apology. You're not going to get the conversation. There's something here that you have to put down the burden. It is no longer yours to carry. You're strong enough to do it, but man, does it suck. and allow yourself to go into tears, to grieve what it's not anymore, or what it can't be. Also to grieve people, to grieve people that are still here, and to grieve our own sense of, I'm trying to put into words what they're showing me, to grieve our own sense of letting go of investing in a whole relationship. This could be friendships, this could be family, and of course it could be romantic, based on who you're so sure they're going to turn into. God, that's so Cancerian. Neptune has been in Pisces, and it's been in retrograde for a minute now, since June. Okay? There's a lot that has opened this summer. We have seen people in a way we cannot unsee them. We have seen the truth and the authenticity of people in a way that was sucked. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Nicole. That's Nicole. That's Nicole Lilith. It is that very Cancerian thing where we want to nurture somebody. We can see the best. And listen, if you have Cancer placements, at the very least, you are mad intuitive, probably claircognizant, clairsentient. So, and I discussed this, I want to say during one of the eclipse readings, but when you have gifts, you actually see somebody's potential. It's like you can see the paths, and if they make what choices, how they can be. And often as Cancer, we want to love the shit out of somebody until that they're all that they can be, right? Like we're the army. That should be like the Cancerian love slogan. Let me love you and be all that you can be. I mean, so Cancers, for some of you, this is just going to be the understanding what you saw since June, since Cancer season, when Neptune went retrograde and the fog cleared and the bubble burst, and the way you cannot unsee people and situations. And you've been carrying their potential, but that you haven't been getting best of them behavior. And it's okay to meet people where they're at. And it's okay to say, I'm in love with you. You know, like the Silver Linings Playbook. The messy parts. The ugly parts. You can do that. You can be in love with somebody just as they are. You can have love for them. You can love them as a friend, a family member. It is when we are waiting to feel validated in that well of hope, when they're going to treat us the way that we've treated them, when we're going to get the reciprocity. When the little kid in us is waiting to be loved as hard as we love, based on what we think that they are capable of, when they are the best that they can be. But right now, you either are letting go of this person, you're letting go of what it was, or you're letting go of carrying around pain, waiting to be loved back the way that you love based on what you know they can be. And again, this is not out of delusion. This is not out of you're naive. It's not out of I'm older and I should know better. What is wrong with me? It's because if you have Cancerian placements and if you have fourth house placements, I promise you, you on some level know that that person is capable of healing and maybe giving more. But you can't hold your own validation and your own precious emotional pain and your own precious emotional love based on whether somebody will reach their full potential so that you can finally get that back. I have to make a TikTok video. If we ever had a drinking game where I said, I have to make a video about this one point, and then I don't make the video, Cancers are guilty of this often. I used to be. It's attachment, isn't it? It's attachment to what somebody is capable of. It's attachment to the potential of somebody. It's attachment of what this relationship could look like. It's an attachment to maybe they're funny. Cancer likes a lot of funny. If they're funny and you feel like, I'm not going to get that. I'm not going to get that finishing each other's sentences kind of funny with somebody else. I'm not going to be able to be goofy with somebody else, right? We attach the idea that there's a piece of us that goes with them, but you own your own sovereignty. If it's hilarious in that moment because you're exchanging that way, if it's something is so, if you want to just have somebody make you laugh, there are plenty of comics you can turn on, right? If you just, a TV show, a movie, something to make you laugh. What we usually like about a relationship when we talk about like, oh my God, I'm there for the funny. I love those moments. And the laughter, because the laughter is a serotonin boost, right? It's good for our mental and emotional health. And when we're in it, and when we're part of that chemical exchange, because that's what's happening. You're giving each other serotonin boost. You're releasing oxytocin. And we think, I don't have that with anyone else. But if that is an exchange going on that you can feel to your toes, guess what? You're half of that exchange. Nobody's taking your funny away when they are no longer in your life. You still have the sovereignty. You own that part of the relationship. You take that with you. And I promise you, somebody else you will also have those moments. You will also have that chemical exchange with somebody else. But if you are a Cancer that has experienced abandonment issues, we will often tolerate really toxic relationships when somebody needs us, when we feel like no one's going to love them unconditionally the way I do. What are they going to do without me? I'm going to help them the way nobody else will. And it's not exclusive to Cancer, but I'm talking about it now because we're doing water signs and we're doing Cancer. So often we think we just want someone to love us this way. So we love somebody else that way. And the idea of not holding infinite unconditional space for them, which can sometimes look like enabling. It's a rough truth, right? If we don't, then we're not a good person. A good person would just forgive and continue to love. And it's really because we just want to love someone the way we're really craving to be loved. And if the more that they're a mess, the more that they may need us. And the more that they're somebody that not a lot of people would tolerate because it's so bad. Hi, Tiffany. If it's somebody that almost nobody else would tolerate, which makes them seem like a more, they're the stray cat person that you think, oh my God, nobody's loving this cat. I have to take this cat in. I have to, right? Are you ready? Very toxic people who will not help themselves, that seem to desperately need us. seem like they'll leave us a lot less. Like, in other words, they'll be back. Are you staying in connection with a beautiful but broken person that has not even begun to look inward, takes advantage of you, treats you badly, and all you can see is this poor, they just need somebody to love them. I'm going to show them unconditional love. You give them the love that you have so desperately craved your whole life. Because the isolation they have created in their own life and their need of you, no matter how toxic it gets, feels like an insurance policy against abandonment. Where are they going? Where are they going? They're not going anywhere because they need you and no one else is putting up with them and they only have you. What are the toxic relationships in your life that you know that person has potential to be good? You maybe make a lot of excuses for them. And it's not once in a while that they're not kind to you. It's most of the time. Gaslighting, passive aggressive, outright aggression, treating you badly, hurting your feelings, but you're holding space. Because you just so desperately want to experience that. I will jump off the cliff. I will run into the burning building. I will love you unconditionally because you really want it for yourself. But you also know you don't want to experience the pain of abandonment. And maybe for you, abandonment could have been so painful that the pain of the toxicity seems less than the abandonment. The way we fix abandonment is we give that unconditional love to ourselves. Unconditional love to yourself is the hardest to establish. It's the hardest love to give. It's so much easier to give it to somebody else. But until we give it to ourselves, we will invite people that we have a chance to be what we actually need. It's hard to find that with that toxicity. The pain that you've carried, wrapped in hope, wrapped in a pretty little blanket of what they can be, what this relationship could be, and the potential, right? You've seen little glimmers of hope. I've had moments. I've seen them. They just need a better environment. I'll give them the environment. It's just something to think of. Are you staying in a toxic relationship with somebody who needs you and no one else will deal with? Because it feels like an insurance policy on abandonment. They're not going anywhere. Even if they're horrible to you, they leave and they come back because they need something from you and you're going to give it. Oof, right? This is mustering up the strength. I feel like this is what you've been going through and you are at the home stretch. And I know that because we have a 10 of Wands and a major arcana. This is wrapping up a cycle that's been for you, could be for years and years. Not just, but here's the amazing thing. Cancer, you're going to wrap up this cycle by the end of December. there's going to be a release. You have to remember how you phrase it in your head. How we phrase things, our mindset is everything. So if you're phrasing everything as they need me, I'm a bad person, I can't leave them to suffer, instead of I have tried again and again, I have exhausted myself, I have bled myself dry, they do not choose, right, to take the help and really use it. They don't choose to work on themselves. Their choice is to isolate for whatever their trauma response is. There are people in this world that just kind of want to test how bad they can be to you and have you still love them, because their childhoods were just void of anything. And they don't really think anyone's going to love them through everything. And you can usually find that person with a Cancer or a Pisces. Just sit with that for a moment. Sit with that for a moment and take, because these next 8 weeks are going to be so much release. Don't forget that full moon eclipse, which brought so much release, closing up 3 different cycles at the least. It can take 6 months to completely play out until we have that new moon in Taurus. All right, let's move on to Scorpio. Hi, everybody that just joined us. We are moving on to Scorpio. What do I want for Scorpio? Yeah. We're going old school. Old school, because I'm an old fool. Every time I do one of these videos and I lean over to get a bunch of cards, I'm always like, back of my hair looks terrible. And I know I brush the back of my hair before I go live. The back of my hair just always looks terrible. Oh, you found the form. Okay, good. There's a little, if you join, you should immediately have access to a members only video on my channel. No one else can see it but members. In that video, I talk about the form and it is in the bio. Emily, do me a favor. Let's not share it in the chat anymore, because if people are filling it out, it could be a little confusing if they don't know what it's for. And they actually haven't, because that's not connected in any way for like, so I don't have to like send a bunch of emails to say sorry and this is only for membership. Hey, Stacy. So let's just stop sharing the form, Lee, and actually do me a favor and delete the new one, because that doesn't help them join. That could be confusing right now. That doesn't help them join. They have to join through YouTube. But I have the link in the members only video. You feel me? Thank you, babe. I can hear you in my head going, got it. So you typed it. Aw, thank you, Stacy. Hi, Jamie. All right, so we're looking at Scorpio now. I just want to see if I'm feeling anything for Scorpio. I did get your, yesterday was very crazy for me, Rose. I got your email. Not surprised. Okay, Scorpio in 8th house placements. Hello, Dolly. Also, I don't want you to feel like harassed or feel like anything is a nuisance. So there's a whole section with preferences on your membership form if you join the membership. So you can be, you know, maybe you don't care about the polls and you don't care about the subject of stuff. You just want to be there. Man, Jamie, I love you. I probably walk around singing that song once a week at least. But yeah, I don't, you know, maybe if you guys don't care as much about like the member form polls and stuff like that, maybe you don't want to be notified when there's a new video. Like, I'll get to it when I get to it. And that's the thing, is I just want it to be like a really smooth and a pleasant experience. So okay. Yep. And if you're not a member, for whatever reason, none of my business, quite frankly. And I don't take it personal. Oof, Scorpio, I know that's right after that eclipse. Then nothing is changing on the channel. You will not be less prioritized in the chat. You will not, there's no content that's going to go private. You know, somebody just went on AI and did a whole like series of portraits. I have chills. Oh, I have chills. And it was, why do I want to cry? It was Aaliyah. What is wrong with me? Such a fucking Cancer. Like, you can be mad at me and saying worst, most horrible things to me. I won't cry. But I'm going to cry over something that doesn't actually exist. Somebody did an AI album. They fed the info into the AI. And it was Selena and Aaliyah. Like, not Selena Gomez, the original Selena. As like friends doing like selfies and stuff. Just two bright stars that burnt out too early. That were taken from us. But I don't know why that hit me. Like, I was like, like, you could be like, you're ugly, you're fat. The kids ain't yours and everybody knows. You could like DMX me hard. I'll be like, okay, you can have that opinion. Not a jar of Nutella. Show me a picture that doesn't actually exist in real life of people who have been gone forever that I never knew. Fucking water signs. Hi, Erica. Okay. Oof. Scorpio, you're in some deep healing. Scorpio, 8th house. Can we get another? Yes, we can. The Star card. My favorite card in the deck. This seems right on time after that eclipse, after you've gone through the whole Taurus Scorpio axis, and you still have like today the sun is opposite no, the sun and Mars are still together, I'm pretty sure, but in Scorpio, and it's opposite Jupiter right now. So you know, that can feel like a lot, but it's bringing healing. Now, did this eclipse bring you a truth that you were like, I freaking knew it? And it allows you to be done with something or someone? You know, the thing is that honestly, Scorpio, whatever this is, it's allowing you to heal. And that's what we should be focusing on. But like, it wasn't like you didn't know. It wasn't like you didn't know deep down, Scorpio. Scorpio placements, 8th house placements. Pluto on the ascendant. And I should have said, if you don't have any Cancer placements or 4th house placement, but you have the moon sitting on your ascendant, the Cancer readings will feel like you, and Pluto on the ascendant for Scorpio. I have to make sure I do that. Like, it's not like you didn't know. You know, the thing about Scorpio is they will vet you. They're pretty picky. If a Scorpio lets you in to the depths of them, like really let you in, I'm not talking about flirting. I'm not talking about brown chicken, brown cow. By the way, I think there are like 3 or 4 people here who are members. You should have access to the emojis. We'll have to learn all of us together. But one of them is a brown chicken and brown cow. Kissing in their little hearts. I made it all myself. You know, I'm talking about really letting somebody in to the scars, to the part of you that's phoenixed. It's that whole thing where Scorpio is magnetic and everybody kind of wants to be on Scorpio's arm because Scorpio won't settle for just anyone. I said what I said. That's the other one. Okay, good. You all found the emojis. I was DMX'd. Like, that can be an emoji. Please suggest anything because I love digital creating. So I will make up whatever emojis makes the crowd happy. Yeah, universe be like, and all the planets are, yeah. Oh, I guess the letters are missing. I have to change that. But, you know, Scorpio, so by the time you're like, vetted this person, let them in, then they did you dirty. And like, you know, but you are DMX by the universe. Now I get it. Okay. There's an emoji for that. But even when you kind of know a Scorpio, man, you kind of like, this better be a moment for them and not a movement and not who they are, because there's a little bit of pride there. And also like, it's that 8th house, man. It's that 8th house Scorpionic. Scorpios, like, they're either messing around with you and it's funny and it's sexy, or they have merged. You're either on their peripheral or you are all the way merged. And if they merged everything. They merge, what is the 8th house? Other people's finances. They have merged their finances. They have merged their lives. Maybe merged extended families. And they're fixed. So when Scorpio has the epiphany of, oh man, I didn't want to be right. And I am. And now I have hard evidence in front of me, because y'all are the detectives. You'll find out eventually. Even when you don't want to. Even when you're like, la, 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 la. It's also like you want to be smarter than to be done grimy. Thank you, Shauna. You want to feel smarter than to be done grimy. Also, owning the house of psychology. You guys are wicked smart, and the detectives. At this point, there's no like, they can do their own thing and I'm going to do my own thing because this is bullshit, but we're merged. And the idea of unmerging gives me an effing headache. They're just not going to get the best of me. And that's a thing. If you merge with a Scorpio, when they let you to the depths of them, that can be terrifying. It can be magical. It can be the most energy you've ever felt with somebody. It can be beyond palpable, right? And sometimes they'll stay in the actual physical situation, the logistics of the merging. the pragmatic logistics, but they're going to take away the other stuff. And they feel like that's the punishment. You have no more access to me at my depths. Now we're at a new step. Now it's not just them taking away the access to the best part of the Scorpio, right? What lies beneath. Now they're taking away. They're starting to unmerge. Whatever they saw, they can't unsee. However, seeing it is bringing you healing. Scorpios and 8th house placements, you may have been a little bit either lightly entangled with somebody that was trying to gaslight you, and you may not have been having it, or heavily entangled and merged with somebody. Also, Scorpios wear their wounds on the outside. A lot of people weaponize that. So it's easy to make Scorpio the bad guy, right? I've talked about this forever. You also got the 5 of Cups, Scorpio, but yours is in reverse. This is the Kirill Marchetti. This is it's either the, I should know this off the top of my head. I really should. It's either the Royale one. I don't think it's the Royale. I want to say it's like the Grand Tarot, but the other one is the Royale. But it's Kirill Marchetti. That 5 of Cups is in reverse. I don't think, and money could have kept you here for a while. Scorpio does not like to be unstable. You're part of the money access house, and especially if the finances are merged, the 8th house, other your partner's money, other people's money, right? At this point, we don't care anymore. I'm gonna tell you, if you're already healing, it means you're got a foot out the door, or you're got more than a foot out the door. You're planning. You're done. There's no whatever. We'll live our own lives anymore. If Scorpio has the 5 of Cups with the Star card, this isn't you're denying you're grieving. This is, I was slowly grieving the whole time, because the whole time I kind of knew. This 5 of Cups, this grieving, this is, and for some of you, this is staying sober through something that maybe before this. See, the thing is, as long as they were still merging down at that deeper level of Scorpio, as long as there was still coexisting, it was still like killing a little part of you. Right? But there's that wound. You're used to it. So it's killing a little part of me. A lot of parts of me have been killed before. Still here. But if you're healing now, I don't think you're grieving. I think you did the grieving slow. Kind of like a Cancer. A Cancer will stay and grieve for you while they're in the relationship. And then when they're done, they're done. A Scorpio can be done when they're done, but they might not heal this. This looks like actual healing. One, if part of the reason, this will apply only to a small amount of people, but if part of the reason that you tried to make it work on some level and didn't put yourself through the headache of unmerging, of undoing that entanglement, is because you a Scorpio and you've been through it, and you didn't want to risk the mental, emotional, or sobriety, the places that you could go to before. What's happening is that this healing card is actually emboldened by you realizing, I grieved this for weeks, months, or years already. And it's not like this person is not going to take them down. You're not going to be a shell of a person and struggling. This healing card, whatever came through with this eclipse, man, where other people would be devastated or just be like, huh, who was that person? And how did I get convinced they were anything other than what they clearly are? There's a new vibe. Now, here's what I am loving. Queen of Pentacles. Now, let me tell you something. Gender doesn't matter, especially in tarot. The Queen of Pentacles is an awesome partner. This is either going to be you understanding you are the moment, you are the abundance. I will say this till I'm blue in the face. The Queen of Pentacles is stability in a way that is more than money. The Queen of Pentacles is the partner that will get with you when you both have nothing. They will build it with you. And then if you lose it, they're steady and we're going to build it again. Because their mindset, their sense of being able to manifest, because they understand the value of them and that the money is a tool and not directly correlated to their value as a human, as an entity. Is very powerful. It's the Queen. It's a very powerful energy. The Queen of Pentacles has a green thumb in the way that what they give attention to grows. There's maturity. Scorpio, this is either you turning into the Queen of Pentacles and realizing you are the abundance. You don't have anything left to cry over because you took away the best part of you and you waited for it to wound them. And maybe it didn't. That feels a little hard. It feels like when you thought, well, like, F you, I'm going to take away the best parts of me. I'm not letting you into the deep, dark depths of my soul anymore. And sure, once in a while we'll be intimate, but there will be no intimacy. Now, I'm not going to disappoint because that's not who I am. I'm Scorpio, right? I'll bring it because I will not have you walking away from bed thinking, eh. But you're not going to get the intimacy. I'm not going to make eye contact. I'm not going to like lock eyes with you in the middle of it. I'm not going to tell you my deepest feelings. I'm going to starting to do things separate. If you have children, if you're the Scorpio, or if you're a cross watcher and your Scorpio has children, they're going to start doing things as separate as possible. You're not getting let in like that. And the thing is, that should have killed them. It should have had them on their knees begging to get that part of you back. And I think for some of you, it was like they didn't notice. And that hurt, and that hurt, and I don't think you allowed that to hurt consciously. But whatever this was released, whatever this healing is bringing, it's like it all released at once. And Scorpio can do that. Let's not. Scorpio can get hit all at once like it's a Tuesday. I'm not saying it's good for them. I'm not saying they should wear it like a badge of honor, but I'm saying they can. But the thing is, this time it didn't break you. You're finding, poof. I mean, you have healing in the Queen of Pentacles here, Scorpio. You are finding, first of all, new levels of healthy attachment, which is big for water signs. It's big for Scorpio. Scorpio possession, obsession, right? This is new levels of letting go of unhealthy attachment. This is having a lot more faith in yourself. This is healing without the other person. And this is also feeling enough faith, confidence in yourself to be the abundance so that you can unmerge. It's really, really hard for Scorpio to unmerge from somebody if the finances are merged and codependent. And I mean, we're all having a hard time looking at our grocery bill being 2 times more than it was a year ago and 3 times more than it was before the pandemic, right? So like, if you're already merged, if you're living your whole life, it's not as simple as to say, no one is saying like, oh, you're staying for money, you're materialistic. No. I mean, it is survival, right? And Scorpio thrives on survival, almost sometimes in a bad way. It's like the wound becomes the best friend. That's the thing that's never leaving my side, right? The wounds. This is figuring out another way. This is incredible. Now, not gonna lie, Scorpio will probably have other people possibly interested. Sometimes, I don't care. You could look at one Scorpio that nobody thinks is attractive, but if you've got planets all lining up, you could just be like, I don't care. That person is so attractive to me. There's the magnetism. If you hit the magnetism on a Scorpio, it's hard to unhit. It can happen. If enough happens, you can, I promise, you can detach from anyone if you need to. But the bottom line, Scorpio, is whatever this did, it actually, not wanting to engage and play the game and hit back and like dagger for dagger and arrow for arrow and like hurtful phrase for hurtful phrase. If you know, you know. None of that interests you anymore. There's actual real healing that you don't want to play the bad energy tennis game anymore with this person. And it healed something about you. This is a big level up. This could be bringing in that partner. Whatever you had to learn from this old partner, you're like, it's good, I got it, I learned it. And what I learned at the end of the day is the fear of being a failure in something again, that I failed another relationship, or the way I live my life is going to have to change just a little bit temporarily because of finances, right? Whatever it is, because of the relationship. You will actually feel more healed and less anxiety over the prospect of doing something over with somebody that's actually worth you now, right? This Queen of Pentacles could be that partner that I spoke of coming in. Queen of Pentacles, favorite partner. For me, as far as like if you're going to get like somebody coming in, King of Pentacles is nice too, but the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles is good. They know who they are. They're really good if you're dealing with somebody who's like, has an extraordinary career, has their own money, is maybe extraordinarily attractive. King of Pentacles is really good for somebody like that because they're not going to be threatened and they're going to encourage you, right? But the Queen of Pentacles is not going to advise you. Like, there's still wisdom, but the wisdom is in doing. Where the King of Pentacles, the wisdom is in being. I hope that made sense. So the Queen of Pentacles is, and I'm a Cancer, you would think that I'd be all about the cups. No, it's that Queen of Pentacles that it's okay, we'll build it, and if we lose it all, we'll build it again because that's who I am, not what I have. Scorpio, I keep getting chills for this reading. They're all a big reading. Aren't they always? Now don't forget, if you join the membership, or if you join the membership in the next 24 hours, besides a whole bunch of other stuff, I would say within an hour that I end this video, because we're about to do Pisces now, within an hour, There'll be a poll up for members only. And you can tell me what part of Cancer you want me to look into more. You could put it in the comments if it's not a choice, but it's going to be more helpful. Eventually, I might be your Queen of Pentacles, Nicole. We're just going to have to go to a state where they allow that. But the members only poll will be up probably within an hour. And we're going to look at, you're going to have choices for each of the reading. And then I will do an extended within like 36 hours based on the choices that the members made. And, you know, obviously there's only a few of you right now. So like, you're really going to get to pick what we look at. Emily, we have a cat fight outside. Can you grab Annie, please? It sounds like it's out the front porch. Hold on, everybody. I'm going to go. She's probably right there. Okay, come back, come back. She's a Virgo with a Gemini moon. And she's a big fan of, I think when we first got here, she maybe wrote some checks with her mouth that her attitude that her ass could not cash. But then since then now we have two neighbors with two, and she's tiny. This is not Sadie. This is the one that kind of barely tolerates us to take care of her. Anyhow, that we have two cats next door. And if you run into them separately, they're really sweet. But they come onto our property and try to start fights with her. But Lee's gonna go take care of it. That's a good one, Jamie. Okay, thank you guys. All right, so we're gonna be looking at Pisces now. Going to be looking at Pisces. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find something for you. Because now it's been a couple of people who mentioned it. There I am. Okay. When you go there, there'll be a join button. And then I know that James, you said, so you'll like the first thing that comes up, it just looks like the $2.99. But if you look to the left-hand side of the screen, it'll say the other two. So there's and I'm sorry guys, I'm only mentioning this because people are asking, but there's Astro members, that's $2.99. It's a very long list of perks. And then there is, including, you will get for your 6th month and your 1 year, you will get invited to one of the private Zooms. It's normally only available to the 2nd and 3rd levels, because I think to reward steady loyalty is important. It's probably the Cancer in me. But then the 2nd level is the Evolutionary Astro Club. It's the Members Club, then Astro Club, and then Nerd Club. Those are the 3 levels. And the perks build. Whatever everyone gets in the 1st level, they also get in the 2nd and 3rd, plus whatever the extra 2nd and 3rd perks are. Hi, Flower Beauty. But that's the link to go where you can just go boop and hit the join button. And then once you join, that's the most important thing. Once you join, and it's in the instructions, you have to hop over and watch the welcome video so you can get your links, fill out your forms, all of that. But it's in the instructions, so I try to make it a big circle so nobody would be confused. Okay, Pisces, how you doing? Saturn goes direct. What's today? The 4th, in 3 days. Saturn will go direct in 3 days. And that'll probably feel good. Collectively, I don't think it'll feel as good, but it'll start to feel good, especially for those early degrees of Pisces. And of course, if you're anywhere around 5 degrees, like our Nicole Lilith medium, if you're anywhere around that 5 degrees, then you felt that eclipse because it was trining the sun. Your placements could have been trining the sun. All right. Tired of being the bigger person. I'm not a rogue to what I do. Yeah. It's okay. And I say this all the time. No relationship is 50-50 100% of the time, right? Some days you're giving 40 and some days you're giving 80. Some days you're taking 80. But that has to be like this. And not, if you imagine a bridge and you're supposed to be meeting somebody in the middle, if they stay on their side of the bridge, are you traveling over to their bridge all the time to meet them? All the time? And just in the very beginning, they met you in the middle? There's a difference between letting it oscillate and being the only person with an oar in the water. And that is why Pisces' best friend is boundaries. But sometimes Pisces, you need to build those boundaries so that you can't cross the bridge. You don't need to keep them out. You need to keep you from going over and meeting them on their side all the time. You need a boundary to keep you on your side of the bridge so you don't overgive. If I have any Pisces or 12th house placements in here, you can all let me know if that resonated. I don't think people, I hate the, like, people never talk about, you never hear anybody talking about, that probably people are talking about stuff and we just don't have access to it. So I feel like when we say, or when we hear people say like, no one's talking about, or no one ever talks about, it's a very ego-based statement. It's ego-based language, even if you don't mean to be that way. So let me rephrase, and I'm just being transparent and using that. So like I redirect myself from stuff all the time. But I haven't heard it said often about that. The boundaries for Pisces sometimes is to keep you from giving too much, not and to keep you from meeting people all the way across the other side of the bridge all the time. Okay. Ah! All right, I like that. Did you see I did like was it last Saturday? I did a card pull for the eclipse and I put it on YouTube. And somebody was like, "You're a beginner, show your work." And I felt like I'm shuffling the whole time. And then the cards like flew onto the keyboard. I would love to get 2 cameras the way Gemma has it. But I feel like you guys all know, right? That like the cards that I shuffle. I mean, I kind of LOL'd it. I was thinking about going back and inviting them to be a member so they could join a private Zoom and then they could instruct me on how to properly read tarot. You know, I was feeling generous. Has nothing to do with being a wise ass. Okay. Pisces, I am not mad at your reading. And you know, it's so funny because they started out saying like Cancer's probably getting hit a lot, especially because of Pluto, right? Because Pisces and Scorpio they're in conjunct to that Pluto in Capricorn, but Cancer is opposing it. Well, it's not my hands I'm trying to keep off camera. Most of you know that. Pisces, you have the Hermit card. So, I mean, a full moon, if that was even coming near any of your placements, Hermit is good. And that's kind of the advice that... that was kind of the advice that a lot of spiritual creators, astrologers, that you would find across the internet was like, what you should be doing in this moon is if you want to go like stand outside during the eclipse or like charge anything, sure, fine. I'm not a big fan unless you're like a super well-schooled practitioner of making lunar, full moon, eclipse stuff, like charge it because it's ending energy. So it's very different from new moon water. But the main instruction for everyone is like stay in your bed, do nothing, let the work be done. And it's like I said again and again during the eclipse, the live chart readings, was that, you know, when people would ask me how should I navigate this, you don't. This is a giant tsunami of waves coming in to take away anything that you have thrown out to sea and has come back to you. Right? Now lay it at the sea's edge and let this eclipse take it away. Right? And so that kind of energy is just sit back and let universe do what it's got to do. And a lot of us hermited, and a lot of us, I mean, I made videos, I did stuff around the house. I did go outside for the actual, like at 1:24 my time. And I did a little thing. And then the rest of the day, I stayed in my bed working on my computer. And Emily and I were so tired. This Hermit card is really beautiful because it shows enlightenment. This is, let me explain about the Hermit card. The Hermit isn't staying alone because nobody wants to deal with your ass. The Hermit isn't, I have no friends, so I'm stuck in my home. The Hermit isn't about, the Hermit is purposely taking yourself away as much as possible to go inward for enlightenment. Whenever you have light around somebody's head in tarot, please don't knock everything down. Okay. Rare sighting. Okay, I love you, but you have to, you can tell the difference because she's half the size. She's got little white socks on. This hermit is purposeful. It's not sad. It's not, no one loves me. I hate people. It is, I need to take a moment. I need to find my enlightenment. I need to stop, because I have a video on this. I want to say it's pinned on my TikTok. The reason, and I don't think we have a ton of relationship hoppers in this crowd, but the reason why we say, you know, it's, if somebody who's counseling you in any way or advising you in any way may advise, she's a tiny terrorist more than a cutie patootie, advise you in any way to take some space for yourself after a relationship, or just take like a year or two for yourself, is because when we constantly see ourselves in the mirror of somebody else's perception, through somebody else's trauma lens, through somebody else's opinion, through somebody else's lack of their own healing, or even they could be older, or they could have done a ton of healing, and you feel like you should be where they are, and constantly looking at yourself through the lens of where they are could be bad for you, because you're supposed to be exactly where you are. Sometimes taking ourselves out from the world doesn't mean we hate people. It doesn't mean we can't deal with people. And while, you know, depressive thoughts, active depression can also happen during a hermit mode, it's not really the base of it. It is to give us time to see ourselves in the mirror without the mirror being, you know, having a layer of somebody else's perspective on us. We often see ourselves through, you know, the first house is facing the seventh house. The seventh house is like the people who come in and out of the mirror for us until we see ourselves properly, till we heal a little bit. And the hermit is like putting a blanket over the mirror and just being with yourself. It's really a beautiful card. You may be doing this through November and December, Pisces. Why? What? You may be doing this through November and December. And I want you to be really mindful of how you speak to yourself and how you speak about your hermit period. If you speak about your hermit period like, oh, I'm just cocooning and having depression and, you know, FML, you'll extract a lot less out of that time period. When our soul wants rest, when our soul wants isolation, when we want to like remove our energy, and a lot of that was me this summer. I would have been remiss to just make sure I got on camera. And how about you don't put your tail in my candle? It would have been unethical, in my humble opinion, to come on here and, as part of my job, hold space for others when my energy was not okay, and it was chaotic, and it was low. And it wasn't just about I didn't have what I could have. And it would have been not beneficial for anyone. It would have been better for my finances to just drag myself on the camera when I was not okay. But I was also keeping my energy from others when my energy was not strong enough to hold space for everyone. I can hold space from somebody in the middle of my own crisis, right? But this was an extended long time. And my energy was needing to be replenished. I needed this, and especially to get my actual physical health back up. I don't want you to look at it as a negative while you spend this time cocooning, Pisces. Like, please be clear on that. This is a gift you're giving yourself, and not of, here I am alone again. No one understands me. You know, Pisces is 12th house energy. You'd be hard to find a Pisces, somebody with strong Pisces placement, or people with 12th house placements. And if you know somebody, ask them, have you ever or do you often feel misunderstood? Or like, does anyone truly know you? And so sometimes Pisces can be self-deprecating about their hermit time, when the hermit time is so important to Pisces. Pisces needs that. And again, this is, I love Lori Rivers, and it's Laurie. And she's who I took classes with over the summer. And then, you know, we've become friendly, and I am grateful for her. But one of the ways that I love that she explains the sun is that it is our vital energy, and each sign can be energized or depleted by certain circumstances. And with Pisces, if you're Pisces, sun especially, and you've been in a mall or at a picnic or at a concert, and you can have a really great time, but the next day you just feel drained and you think, I didn't run a mile. Why do I feel this way? Because being around a ton of people all the time can be depleting. The land that you're indigenous to is the 12th house. I want you to take that in, Pisces. Your homeland is the 12th house. It's super important for you to balance that time alone, inward, cocooning. All of that is important. That's actually how you replenish, right? And you may have a best friend that's a Sag, and they want to go out every night. They want to go out all the nights. You could even have a best friend who has a 9th house sun or 9th house Mercury. And they want to be, or a 9th house moon, and they want to be social all the time. And it energizes them. And you're like, I can give you one night. And then you feel like there's something wrong with you. And that is the mindset I want you to break, Pisces. Embrace this, because it's literally what replenishes you. And if you didn't know that, I hope you know it now. I hope this moment changes things for you. Because Pisces can be hard on themselves. They can be very small in a very big world. And so you can kind of verbally punish and emotionally punish yourself for needing this. The next card we have is the Four of Pentacles in reverse. I love it. Now listen. This is, I need my, I need this belt and this chair, and that's all I need. Mind, down, down, down. I really want to move into a new existence. I want all that abundance. I want that new relationship. I want to feel good about myself. I want to lose the weight. But this thing, I can't let it go. So I only want to do all those things, and then I'm going to let go. I don't want to let go of this. I'm going to hold this. By the way, this is all of my self-deprecating beliefs and this in this little bag here that I won't let go. Find my mind down, down, down. That's going to have everything that holds me back, but I want to carry it into the new version of me. That's what the Four of Pentacles is. Now, when it's upside down, this is you letting go of unhealthy attachments. This can feel like I feel under-resourced and overwhelmed, and sometimes I choose to say under-resourced and overwhelmed because I really don't like asking for help and I want the new, better version of me, but I don't want to have to look like a pitiable figure. This is a little stubborn. Lee, I feel like if you don't come downstairs, we're going to have broken things soon. The chaos that's happening downstairs is audible. I think all three inside is almost not a good idea. Okay. When this is upside down, this is you ready to really let go. You are going to take the time. I am so happy with Pisces reading. You are going to take the time so that you can let go of this slowly, safely. And you know when you're not going to let go of this? In a room and in an environment packed with other people that you are so sure are going to judge you. Because this is, you know what this is, right? Y'all know this is like the proverbial security blanket. It's a security purse. And when it's the coin as depicted in some tarot, whatever it is. It's the mental, emotional security blanket. I want things to change as long as nothing changes. You're ready, but you're going to have to figure that out in isolation. Devil. This devil always gets me. The tattoos. Right? That devil makes sense. I'm so sure he's got leather pants on. Piercing eyes. The devil. Right? But I always say the devil. I love this deck because this deck expressed a lot of my belief system and my relationship to tarot. The devil isn't about, it's not really about a person that's bad for you. It can be. And it's not about an actual devil. This is, I always say that's Eminem in the corner, right? He's thinking about cleaning out his closet and his mom and all the other stuff. It's a self-sabotage, right? And he certainly did that. He had that self-sabotage era. The devil is the thoughts that hold us back. It is our own self-sabotaging behavior. Also in reverse. So when you go inward and you have to stay inward, you have to let it be a gift and a luxury and not a punishment and not feeling alone and misunderstood. You have to embrace that this is your 12th house homeland and you have to go to the 12th house and be by yourself a little bit so you can replenish. You are letting go. We have two cards upside down representing self-sabotaging beliefs about ourselves. Security blankets, crutches, whatever you want to call them. This is work. Two of these cards in the reverse, this is work. I don't know what just happened to you, Pisces, but whatever it was, the recalibration is a big deal. And again, you know, the water signs, the sun was in Scorpio, the Mars was in Scorpio, and Pisces and Cancer were both sextiling the moon. So lots of cycles closing for water signs for that eclipse. And it takes time. Like, I hope you all know that when a transit hits, it's not like this is happening in this house, it's squaring this and trining this. And so when you wake up tomorrow, all of that will just be done with. Closing out a cycle. No, it still takes, you still have to do, right? You still have to experience and acclimate and integrate. Pisces, do it like this. All the pretty girls walk like this. All the Pisces, cocoon because you can. Give it to yourself as a gift. Ah, thanks, Nicole Lilith. I'm excited. I'm sure everyone else is excited you're in the club. That's a lot to let go at once. The question for the Pisces is, how do you not be an island unto yourself? Right? Because when we go into hermit mode, yes, it's for our own enlightenment. Also, when we go into hermit mode often, it's when we can feel depleted. And also maybe there's a couple of, exchanges. There was a couple of incidences where somebody thought you could trust, you can't trust. So right now you're just like, maybe it'll feel a little easier to deal with all this if I'm not worried about trusting anyone else. I want you to healthily understand that while not exchanging with family, your usual, cast of characters, romantic relationships, there are still places online that you can go and get support. There are spaces you can go in. There is, if you feel, if you have pain, you should vent that someplace. When you are in isolation mode, don't sit with the pain and find out all the reasons why it could be your fault. It's not your fault. That's first of all. You're enough. It's not your fault. I love you. Now you love you, Pisces. But what you want to do is create the space to feel like a luxury and give yourself what you need. If we're thinking about the isolation and the hermit period as a luxury, if we're in a luxury resort, we're going to have what we need. If you need to cry and release and you can't fully make it about yourself because the subject's too painful, put on a movie you know will make you cry. You're a water sign. It's not that hard. You probably have 5 in your back pocket that you know will make you cry. Let that time be cathartic. Let it be gentle and give yourself what you need. Because this, you're going to be doing it quietly. No one's clapping. No one will see this on you for weeks or months. And for some people, they won't ever see it on you because of their own limitations, their own lack of healing. Some people will resent this on you. All of this work, all of this healing. You have to clap for yourself, Pisces. Because often in that 12th house, it doesn't feel like other people are clapping for you. And also, I feel the same way about Scorpios, actually Geminis, and Pisces. All 3 of those can often be what I feel like as scapegoats. Pisces, there's going to be a certain demographic of people in your life that you encounter. Some of them will be lovers. Some of them will be the loves of your life, unfortunately. Some of them will be, and then you'll find out that you really had a different love of your life. Some of them will be family. Sometimes you'll feel like you're surrounded. But a lot of that demographic likes you without your boundaries. They like you less healed. Same way I talked about the Cancer. There are people that have had such an absence of love that they need to prove themselves to, like when your mom doesn't love you. It's so hard, and it's such a small percentage. Some moms love you the best that they can, but at least there's something. But if you would experience an absence of love or a severe abandonment as a child, or you weren't protected, which happens a lot with those 3 signs, you may encounter, you know, that wanting to kind of test out how unlovable can I be and still be loved, because I don't feel like I have that ever. Unconditional feels like a foreign concept. So Pisces tends not to have boundaries, right? Scorpios tends to wear their wounds on the outside so that they attack themselves before they let everybody know, I've already been through it. And Gemini kind of gets a bad rap, right, for being too many things, because they learned to be too many things, that this way they were lovable to somebody in a room, right? They can adapt. It's genuine, their adaptation, but Pisces, sometimes people will come into your life because they like that you have no boundaries. And they want to use a slur for Pisces. And that slur is weak. And if you're weak, they can be strong. And if you're weak, you can be the problem. And if you're weak, you could be the reason. So treat this like a luxury. Think about spoiling yourself with this time alone, because this is hard work. It is work worth doing, and you're already doing it. And you're going to be 75% loading. You're going to be 75% done with it by the time we hit the end of December, because you'll have had time to flex this new version of you in front of with family members and holiday get-togethers and the hustle and bustle of things. Treat this like a luxury and clap for yourself. Give yourself whatever you need. Treat your hermit time like a luxury resort. Give yourself the amenities, because some of this work is going to feel like wetting your pants in a dark suit. It'll give you a warm feeling and no one will notice. It'll take time for some people to get used to, but what is going to do also is invite in a new group of people that you will feel like you don't have to struggle with, like putting up boundaries that you're not comfortable with, because they'll just respect you. And they won't flourish off you being weak. They won't prefer you with no boundaries so they could take advantage of you for the 10th time. They won't look for you to be the scapegoat for something. Oh, enjoyed that massage. Pisces, remember that 12th house is your homeland. That hermit mode is really replenishment. And you should give it to yourself without guilt, without putting labels on yourself, without thinking something's wrong. I think somebody just joined the Discord too, because I just heard the notification. But this is a lot of work you're doing, whether you realize it or not, to let go self-sabotaging mindsets and also the things that you thought you needed and that you couldn't move forward without is a lot at once. So be gentle with yourself, especially. So for the members, within an hour, there will be a poll up and you will have choices of what you want. Do you want to look into that, the devil card for Pisces? Did you want to look at that 5 of Cups in reverse, or the Queen of Pentacles for Scorpio? So I'm going to leave you, I usually draw 3 cards, so I'm going to leave you like 3 things that we picked out for each. There'll be 3 polls, and then within 36 hours, you guys will have an extended tarot read for water signs. So there'll be 4 a month, and you'll help drive the content. So look for that in an hour. If you've just joined, make sure you go onto my page, and there is a members only video that has the link to the Google form, which is everything you need. And it explains so much. I tried to make it so that there literally wouldn't be anything that you were like, I still have to email, because, and you're welcome to email me, but not because you have to, not because you're confused. Yeah. So when you leave this live, don't forget to look for the poll within the hour. It'll be up for 24 hours. And then once there's a consensus after 24 hours, that's when I'll record the extended. And make sure you watch that welcome video. It is, when you join, the perk instructions repeatedly say, go watch the welcome video. So I think we're all good. I love you. Now you love you, water signs. And I will see you all soon. All right. I'll see you this weekend. Bye.